What a week! The beach is hot, the rosé is cold, and the egos are even bigger. That's right, Cannes Lion season is over, baby! But I'm not here to talk about Super Bowl spots or some clever TikTok activation from an oat milk brand. I'm here to talk about design, real design, typography, identity systems, brand experiences that make your spine tingle. And yet, year after year, why does it feel like design gets the tiniest piece of the Cannes spotlight? Today, we're diving headfirst into the 2025 Design Lions, who won, why it matters, and why it still doesn't feel like enough. But before we get into it, be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment, and of course, by subscribing. This is Ziggy the Designer, the show where we talk about the world of graphic design and the people who make it move. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. All right, let's paint the picture. Cannes Lions, the Oscars of advertising, the Super Bowl meets Art Basel. It's a week-long celebration of creative brilliance held in the south of France with enough champagne and yacht parties to make Succession look humble. But the Design Lions are like the quiet kid in the back of the class who's been working all semester, head down, doing some really great work, but they never raise their hand, right? This is the category for typography, packaging, brand identity, environmental design, the stuff that makes brands breathe. Now here's where it gets interesting. The jury president, essentially the head judge for the Design Lions was Jessica Walsh. Yes, that Jessica Walsh, founder of And Walsh, the first agency of its size in the US to be run solely by a woman. Former partner of Sagmeister and Walsh, iconic design studio in its own right. She's designed for Adobe, Beats, Apple, and Snapchat. She's the poster child for expressive, maximalist brand design. And let's not forget, she's got a social media following bigger than some of these ad agencies that you see at Cannes. Her being at the helm this year sent a clear message. Design isn't just decoration. It is strategy, it is emotion, it is storytelling, and it is pretty damn powerful. So what happens when someone like Walsh took the wheel? Well, let's break down this year's winners. The Grand Prix went to FCB Chicago for Caption with Intention. They redesigned closed captions, turned basic subtitles into these emotional, expressive pieces of design. It's typography with feeling. It's smart. It's inclusive, and it's beautifully done. Great job to FCB Chicago. No complaints here. And then you've got Apple, because Apple has to win something at Cannes, right? Grabbing a gold line for the AirPods Pro's 2 hearing aid feature, clinical grade hearing support baked right into the product, delivered with Apple's signature seamless UX design. I mean, that's not just a product feature at this point. That is brand-led accessibility. Major respect to Apple here. A few more names to note. We have Art Plans, Nigrum Corpus, and DM9 Sao Paulo's Plastic Blood. The work is strong, the thinking is sharp, but for a category that's supposed to celebrate design, something feels a little off. And look, I'm not saying the work isn't good. The work is phenomenal. But after taking a look at the Design Lines this year, I just have to ask, is Cannes really made for designers, or are we just tagging along to someone else's party? Let's break it down. Cannes was absolutely built for advertising, right? It's built for big agencies, big budgets, big narratives. It's all about spectacle, right? The spot that made you cry, the activation that trended, the app that saved the rainforest and boosted quarterly earnings. It's not about subtlety. It's not about long-term brand systems. It's not about perfect custom typefaces that breathe life into a nonprofit or the color strategy that made a rebrand timeless. Design work, especially branding, which we talk about a lot on this channel, it doesn't always fit into a 60-second case study video. It's not loud, right? It's not loud like advertising is. Design is layered. It unfolds over time. So when we look at the Design Lions winners, they're meaningful, but they're often skewed towards design activism, accessible UX, the cause-based storytelling. Amazing work, yes, but Where's the studio-driven brand work? Where's the stuff from the hottest agencies around? Where's stuff from Collins? Where's the stuff from Wolf Owens? Where's the stuff from Pentagram or even Koto? Where's the work that shapes how culture looks and feels every day? And look, maybe they're just not entering to Cannes, right? Because Cannes, as we all know, Cannes is not cheap. Submitting your work can cost over $1,000 per category. And when you add in video production, travel, schmoozing at those networking events, it's definitely a system built for those big ad agency conglomerates. Definitely not for the independent studios. So to be real here, maybe designers don't care about Cannes because Cannes doesn't really care about designers. Now let's look at the stats really quick, right? The Design Lions, that's just one category. That's just one track throughout the entire week of Cannes. Meanwhile, ad agencies, right, they get tracks in film, digital, social and influencer, PR, outdoor, entertainment, audio, direct. I mean, seriously, they've got a line for every single part of the funnel. From awareness to conversion to post-purchase experience, advertising land absolutely eats at Cannes. Meanwhile, designers, we get shoved into a single tent. No matter if you're building a full brand identity, a new typeface, or designing sustainable packaging, it's all crammed under Design Lions, and we're told to fight it out with 1,000 other entries. While ad agencies, they get their own coliseum to duke it out. That's not a level playing field. That is a design category thrown in so Cannes says it celebrates creativity, but not actually center it. And let's be real. When awards shows structure their stage like this, they're telling you who the spotlight was built for. This isn't our Super Bowl. Our Super Bowl, right? Our Super Bowl as designers is when Brand New drops a teardown of the latest brand identity work by Wolf Owens, or when Collins posts a case study with a 40-minute scroll, or when a New York City cultural institution gets a rebrand that makes design social media lose its mind. Cannes is about the moment. Design is about the system. 2 different languages, 2 different values. And if you're a brand designer, someone obsessed with craft, with building identities that actually work, you might watch the Design Lions and go, wait, that's it? And look, maybe that's okay. Maybe Cannes is built for ad agencies. Maybe design needs its own stage with its own spotlight judged by its own people, the people who live in the grids, the kerning, the nuance that comes with design. Or maybe, just maybe, it's time for designers to stop chasing recognition from a stage that was never built for us. So there you have it. A handful of wins, a lot of questions, and a Design Lions showing that's good, but could be so much better. But how do you feel about the Design Lions? Did they get it right? Are they even relevant? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's all I have for you. Be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, subscribing, and of course, sharing this one out. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are 2 things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design. And 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.